All right, I'm live. Praise the Lord. Glad for all of you who are here. Please let me know the live chat when you're here, please. Thank you very much. And don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. That will help this YouTube channel in the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. I'll start at 4 minutes and I want to keep this live short because I need to get out of the house soon. So before I get out of the house and do the other stuff, I just wanted to do this quick fellowship and class with you. So Suzanne is here. I'm glad you're here, Suzanne. I'll start at 4 minutes as always. So when you are in, wherever you are, let me know in the live chat you're here. It's going to be a short live. I hope around 20 to 30 minutes in, because I need to get out of the house soon to pick something up. But I still wanted to give you some extra knowledge this morning. Well, this morning for me. Les Brown is here. How are you, Les Brown? I hope you're doing well. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. This is an audio live. There will be no visuals shown here. Whiteboard sessions will come it will come very soon in future, maybe next month already. Miss Dixon is here. Glad you're here, Miss Dixon. Suzanne, I'm glad you figured that out about the Chris Watts gates. They show you what they're doing. They don't tell you, but they show you. That's how it goes with the satanic rituals. They don't tell you, but they show you. Darion, I'm glad you're here. It's not a problem that you're naive, Suzanne. Naivety is not the wrong thing. As long as you're sensitive to your intuition, that's what matters. Even naive people can figure things out. By the way, there are a lot of suspicious people out there who don't notice the obvious because so busy with conspiracy theories. So I'm glad you noticed this, Suzanne. That's what I love when believers develop their spirit capacities, the spirit abilities. I mean, praise God. Almost going to start. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. That will help this channel to reach other people in the YouTube algorithm. This is how it works in YouTube. The more likes you get and the more comments, the more algorithm will put you out there. And that's a reason why some YouTube channels make a lot of negative content because negativity sticks, negativity is addictive. But I don't do that over here. I do mention the negative things that goes on in the world, but I mention them in the Christ-centered context, focused on long-term solutions. This is how we do it over here. All right. All right. 2 seconds. Class has begun. The title of this live stream is Divesting from Dislikes, Hatred, and Animosity. Now, what is divestment? Or and what's the difference between divestment and investment? Now, if you're a bit naive, you may think that divestment is the opposite of investment. Well, it's not really that simple. Now, investment is when you put strength and effort into an outcome. That is investment. And when you do that as a human being, psychologically, you bond with what you invest in. Now, when an investment has proven to be destructive to you, what do? You abandon the whatever you've invested. You forfeit it. Divestment is when someone, I'm not talking about divestment in the financial sense, because divestment is a term used in finance. And I've been working in finance too. Even my current job at the moment is related to finance. But anyway, divestment, what I'm talking about here, is on a psychological and spiritual level. Spiritual divestment, you know, also on a psychological level, which is a bit lower, psychological divestment comes down to the following. You want to pass on the waste to someone else. So when someone forfeits negativity, that means they really they really are done with it and they want better. When someone divests negativity, they are looking for a way to continue the negativity, but not with their own effort. Because look at this. Even in finance, by the way, the financial world is based on the spirit world, namely the paranormal, just so you know. But even in fiscal finance, you cannot get back the money you put into something. Most of the time, you can ask for a refund. That is only if the money is available. So, what do they do in the world? Let's say you invested $10,000 into a company. Let's say the company was a nightclub. Let's say you invested $10,000 in a nightclub. Police believers don't do such things, but let's say you did. And you did this 5 years ago. And you expect, well, this nightclub's going to become a big success. Well, the nightclub was not that successful, and there were many violent incidents. So the nightclub had to close. So you can't get back that $10,000 you put in, and you only got $2,000 of revenue in total in the past 5 years. So those $8,000 you want back, the only way you can get it back is if you decide to sell them. If you and the owner decide to sell the nightclub, and it's only you depend on people willing to purchase a nightclub. Because if nobody wants to purchase it, well, your money is gone. Or let's say now you and this that's how, let's say now you have a house. Let's say you spent $30,000 decorating that house, and you spent 10 years paying off a mortgage, but now you lose your job, and for a while you don't have any income. You still need to pay utilities. Now that house in total, you paid 80,000. You paid like $100,000 for it, and $30,000 to decorate. So $130,000 if you invest in that house. But now you find out that this house on the housing market is not even worth $90,000. So even if you would sell the house, including the luxury stuff in it, you may only get $95,000 for it. So it's going to be a portion of the money you'll never see it again. And that's the thing. Whenever you invest, where it's on in a financial term, it's a risk of losing forever. You put finances in something expecting some financial revenue later on, but you're never 100% sure the revenue will come. Now, let's go back to the spirit world. Let's go back to the spiritual. And this relates to the psychological also. Anytime you invest in something that is unstable, you can count that investment as a waste. As simple as that. Think about it. What if there is, what if there are 50 Chinese restaurants in a town? 50 Chinese restaurants. And you want to open your own Chinese restaurants too. A lot of people tell you don't do it. There are already 50 restaurants out there. So, and people already used to those other 50 restaurants. So you come up with a new Chinese restaurant, you're adding to already what's already there. But let's say now you want to open an Italian restaurant. But let's say now that people in that town aren't even interested in anything European. They're only interested in American food and Asian food. So you want to open an Italian restaurant, consider it a waste because there is no demand from the public for Italian food. Let's say you want to open, let me use another example. Let's say you want to open a ski resort, but you want to open it in Mali, a country of which a portion of the country is occupied, makes a big portion of the country is part of, I believe, the Sahara Desert. Yes, it is. Mali contains other rainforest in the south, and a big portion of the country in the north is the Sahara Desert. Now, if you want to open a ski resort in Mali, people are going to think, "Are you out of your mind? You open a ski resort in a place where you have a lot of ice caps or where you have high mountains with snow on it all year long." Or if you want to open an indoor ski resort, so you want to build a building, inside of the building, if artificial snow, that may be something you can do. But that's another question. Are the people in Mali even into skiing and snowboarding? If they're not even into skiing and snowboarding, you first have to trigger that desire in them. And there are ways you can trigger desires in the public because human beings are mimetic creatures. So that's why advertisers often use anthropological knowledge. For example, Microsoft. Microsoft has a lot of anthropologists working there. That's why a lot of corporations use anthropological insight from anthropologists in how to market their products. Why? To trigger a desire for what they're offering. And once the desire is triggered subconsciously, now they come with the offer. And once they come with the offer, you are all in on it. So actually, those mega corporations are putting spells on the public to trick them to purchase their goods. Now, triggering a desire into someone or a group of people is not witchcraft, it's not black magic, it's natural. We imitate each other's desires as human beings. That's how we operate. So, triggering a desire for something into someone is nothing wrong. For example, you may trigger your children to eat vegetables. Maybe your children love to eat candy, but you tell them you can get some candy if you finish your plate eating the vegetables because you want your children to have proper nutrients. So, triggering a desire for something in your children is how you raise them, it's how we all were raised. So, for example, in many cultures, you're not allowed to use this category of words called cuss words. They discourage you by putting punishments on it. So they trigger desire in you to quote unquote speak properly. So triggering desires into someone is not something wrong. It's natural. It's not violating someone when you trigger a desire in them or when you develop a desire for something in them. It becomes harmful when you are exploiting this at their expense. For example, you're triggering a desire to smoke or a desire for porn or a desire for anything else. But triggering natural urges and triggering masculine drives into people, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not witchcraft. However, corporations do spells because when they trigger a desire in you or when they impute a desire in you is to drain you to make themselves better off. So let's go back to the example. If you want to build a ski resort in Mali, I'm sorry, but you're going to embarrass yourself because even the people from Mali will think, if the Malian people think, what the heck? Building a ski resort in this place with a desert and a rainforest? Is he kidding himself? So if you hear about an investment of purchasing a stock in a ski resort in Mali, well, you should have realized Mali is not a country of icy mountains. So why the heck did you put money purchasing that stock? That money is lost. Or if someone wants to open, um, let's say you wanna open a beach club, like for example, a nightclub at the beach, but you do it in Slovakia. or Hungary, where there are no shores. Man, if you even consider going to a beach party in a country without any beaches, people don't think, oh Lord, you need some help. And if you put money into a project, namely a beach, a nightclub, in a country without any beaches, oh, that money is gone. You get where I'm going with this. If you invest in anything that's unstable, even on a financial level, it's a loss. You've wasted your effort, you wasted your property, you wasted your time, and you wasted your potential. As simple as that. Now, so you may think, well, Rashid, human beings have a brain. Human beings don't want to waste time. They don't want to be tricked. So human beings are going to use intelligence to prevent waste. Well, when it comes to their pocket, when it comes to their finances, they are, because you can't ignore the finances for long. But when it comes to daily life in general, human beings invest in instability on a regular basis. What are you talking about, Rashid? Let's talk about this thing called disliking people or hating people or just having aversion towards someone else or something else. Aversion, which contains dislike, hatred, all of that, is in, it's actually projecting instability elsewhere. Look, anytime you have a negative investment, so anytime you continue to operate in aversion towards someone else or towards something else, you are wasting yourself. Because here's the thing, let's say someone um, says hi instead of good morning, and you're older than them. You think, hey, that's not respectful. You should say good morning because I'm older than you. And you remember when you were younger, people get upset with you, even to the point of hitting you if you didn't show quote unquote respect to the older people. So when you were younger, you were shaped into making extra effort when you greet older people. And now you are the older individual now, and now you expect that the same thing should be done to you. Now hold on a minute. The individual did not ignore you. If they've ignored you, then that would be a crime. Okay, but they didn't ignore you. They said hi to you, and they didn't say hi to you in a sexually aggressive way or anything like that. Just said hi. They greeted you. They recognized you. But now you're upset. They didn't recognize you the way you expected. Okay, but why is other individual obliged to recognize you the way you expect? Just because you submitted to people draining you in a narcissistic way does not mean that others should do it, should allow it to happen to them too. But here's the thing: a lot of people will develop dislikes and hatred towards you. They develop ill will towards you because you don't give in to their unexamined expectations. They begin to dislike you. They don't want to see you around. Some even tell you, "I don't really like you. I don't really like you around. So please stay away." They will. They're upset. Why? Because whatever they held on to, these societal patterns, they realize now that the societal patterns are nothing but artificial expectations that don't add up. Why? Because you just acting freely saying hi instead of good morning makes them, it triggers them. Now they need to face that people around them narcissistically exploited them and they don't want to face this. So what's the easy way out for them? At least that's what they think. They frame you in a negative daylight. And this instability of them investing in society's expectations is now projected onto you. So now they're upset with you. Now they blame you for how unstable you are on the inside. Now, if the individual they're projecting upon in a negative way, if the individual has no spiritual protection, then they may succeed in triggering bad outcomes to that individual. And then they will get their ease. But here's the thing, from that point on, they're now addicted to negatively charging other people. So let's say the individual they dislike is fired, or they got a tragic accident, or they die, or they killed the individual. Now they are now invested in violating others to be at ease. But they will never say this openly, that they just want to violate someone else just so they don't have to face themselves. Because that's quite pathetic and quite horrible. So now they need to invest also in excuses for why it's okay for them to do such things. If you have aversion towards reprobates, that's something you need to outgrow, because that aversion will be a trap onto you. It will be that aversion will be a it becomes a wound that demons can use against you in every society. But let's go back to the example. An example that I showed is from the point they succeed in getting their ease by victimizing other individual, now they have to keep on doing it. So let's say they disliked Tammy, and now Tammy is fired. Now they will look for another individual to judge. And outside of work now, they now would judge maybe even one of their own children, someone that's available to them. They're now addicted to transferring their attention to someone else. So they never look on the inside and look for solutions on the long term. So actually, they are unstable because they invested in something societal. And instead of admitting that, okay, how I was shaped and raised was not proper, the way I think is not proper, I need to become better. Instead of forfeiting the instability they hold on to, now they invest in worse instability, namely projecting their instability on someone else and taking action against someone else for it. That is waste. Simple as that. And what if the individual that you dislike or you hate, you can't stand, what if that individual has whole team support him or her? When that team finds out you have a will or issues against someone around them, now you have all these people to deal with. Now what if they as a whole group began to do the same towards you? Then you're finished. But even if an individual is all by themselves, defenseless, and you and other people join and gang up that individual, now you have to explain to later generation why it's okay to gang up on someone just to get some ease. You can't explain that. Now you need to explain to your children or your other relatives what you did and why it's okay. And now they may also, if you don't get what you want from me, you can do the same to me. So you can never get away with it. You can't. So the moment you have moment you continue in negative investments, you are persisting in waste. And anyone with a negative investment, the moment they don't manage to discharge their tension, they lose their mind. So actually, you're setting yourself up to collapse. You disliking someone else is the same as investing in an ocean resort in Hungary or in Bolivia or in the state of Missouri. Investing in money in an ocean resort in a country without access to an ocean, that's weird. Now look, if someone is a reprobate or if someone is unsafe, you simply admit this individual is unsafe. But you're not going to meditate on how unsafe they are and be upset with it. Admit, okay, they're unsafe. I can't change that they're unsafe. The only thing I can do is stay away from the danger. Simple as that. Now, when someone is dangerous, when someone is unsafe, you have a right reason to want to keep them at a distance. But if you remain in an upset, angry mood against them, I'm sorry, but now you're operating in waste. And that becomes that makes you a liability in the long run, not them. It's okay, Les. You can check the final parts of the live stream later on. So the thing is, human beings in general, unfortunately also some believers, They've been tricked by society into thinking that negative investments make you mature. If you have someone that you dislike, means that you have values. If you hate certain people, it means that there's something you stand for. Society lets you think that negative investment makes you mature and means that you develop somehow. They think that um, being on good terms with me- everyone as far depends on you is something childish. They think that being an adult means that there will people wanting you gone and you want certain people gone, just as something to expect. Are you kidding me? So it's okay to dehumanize other people when you don't get what they want, what you want from them. That's what society is telling you, and you have to accept when people don't get what they want from you, they have a right to uh, turn against your existence too. As long as they don't act it out too openly in the form of homicide or assault, it's okay. So society validates negative investment because society itself is a negative investment. And politics is the field where the negative investments of society are played out. If you if you purchase a plane ticket to go to Bolivia, to go to an ocean resort, and Bolivia has no shores and doesn't border the ocean, I'm sorry, but even when you look at the map, you can see Bolivia has no borders. It doesn't border the ocean. So you purchase a plane ticket to go to Bolivia to go to ocean resort. I'm sorry, but what the heck is wrong with you? If you go want to fly to Chile to go to ocean resort, okay, that's another thing because Chile has a big shoreline. Well, in the same way, anytime you operate in any type of aversion towards anyone or anything, you are now wasting yourself. And the weird thing is, fallen mankind is proud on the waste they produce. Because what's the alternative of all this waste? The alternative is you need to deal with the fact that you're unstable, the people around you are unstable. You have to deal with having to be re-educated and raised again. You have to deal with discomfort that you need to process. So the opposite means self-reflection, and also reflect on the community around you, and giving up on toxic expectations. But here's the thing: when you have invested in something for so long and you just forfeit all that investment, the backlash of giving up those investments is something you're going to feel. It's the same as having withdrawal symptoms when you stop using drugs or stop uh, using alcohol that much. And the withdrawal symptoms can be quite ugly and quite humiliating. So nobody wants to have a mirror showing the deformity and defects of the community they are a part of. So the thing is, Justin says in the live chat, people define stability in different ways. Well, it doesn't matter how they define it. Stability comes down to is this sustainable? And negativity is not sustainable. So a negative investment is not sustainable. So it's unstable. Because now you need victims 24/7 to transfer uh, to discharge your tensions upon. What if you run out of victims? Okay, for example, let's say someone is an alcoholic. Your stomach you cannot drink alcohol every hour because your stomach has a limit of how much content it can contain. So now, when you can't drink alcohol, now you're stressed out. Or let's say now you're addicted to smoking 50 cigarettes a day. You need a continuous supply of cigarettes. What if there is no cigarettes around? And smoking those cigarettes is not good for you anyway. The thing is, there's no such thing as a good addiction. every addiction is destructive. An addiction simply means you're now relying on some substance or some activity to keep your self-worth together. That's what it comes down to. And that is an unstable situation. It's not sustainable. So any negative investment is waste. It's a waste. And just like using physical substances as addictions, a negative investment is you actually smoking your own mind with pain because you're holding onto a pain against someone else to prove something. Oh, that individual uses cuss words. Man, I'm educated. I was raised well. I don't use cuss words. I don't like the individual. You're hurt because whatever you invest in, what's called proper speaking, is not validated. Now you realize it's just an artificial thing. And now because you don't want to face this and face that you never question it, now you want to be upset with someone else. You are harboring pain, you're harboring resentment, you're harboring heavy emotions to prove something. What the heck is that? And when all that happens becomes too much, now you want to discharge it somewhere. But the thing is, why did you hoard it up to begin with? So, what I'm pointing out here is that often in the world, instead of forfeiting negative investments and truly turning the other way and looking for long term solutions, which you will find in Christ, people now want you to continue their violence. Maybe you had a grandmother who was antisocial, and your mother never agreed with your grandmother's antisocial attitude. That's why your grandma and your mom never got along, because your grandma is quite controlling and quite exploitive of other people. Your mom saw this when she grew up and said to her mother, I'm not taking this. I actually want to have an actual social life. But now your grandma, as an elderly lady, she's all by herself. Nobody wants to deal with her because she's been so abusive towards other people. But now the grandma doesn't want to face that she has been dumb and stupid all her life. Now she wants to appear like someone that's wise. So she wants to spend time with you, the granddaughter. She wants to trick you into the same antisocial attitude that she is in, just to pretend as if her those decades of waste were somehow worth it. So she will tell you stories of how she cut off certain friends because the friends did not respect her, and because you don't know the difference between respect and honor, you think your grandma did the right thing, cutting people off. What you don't know is that she was the one doing acting dumb against those people, and those people had enough of her. And eventually, the people just tolerate her around, and when she realized that people aren't really into her, she left. But she wants to reverse it and tell you that she abandoned people that didn't hold on to her values. And now you think, oh, grandma is an honorable woman. No, she's not. Or maybe in your community, there was a lot of child abuse. And a lot of the adults now have a short temper. Now, instead of the people of that community, instead of the community admitting that they have an anger issue as a whole, they now come with this thing as time is money. Now, now they want to say time is money. So you should have a short fuse because you only live once. Life is short. You never get time back that you spent. So they try to justify having a short fuse, even though a short fuse is actually a coping mechanism from being traumatized by your parents. And now those same grown-ups are now don't want to face the fact that they have had unstable people around them while growing up. So now they transfer the same bullshit to their own children. They are divesting the negativity. They want to get something from it. They or it's like this. Let's say you invested money in in an ocean resort in Hungary. Well, Hungary is not even connected to the ocean, so you've been scammed. And when this comes up, people will say, "What? You didn't look on Google Maps? You didn't know that Hungary has no shorelines and it's far away from the Atlantic Ocean? What the heck was wrong with you? So they don't want it to come out that they've invested in something ridiculous. That they were so greedy for money that they just uh, put money into anything. So now they can still sell their stock from that ocean resort that doesn't exist. So now instead of saying it's a stock for an ocean resort, they now put the set of advertisement out and saying it's a stock for Bitcoin or whatever. Just they can just so they can get rid of their stock. But if they forfeit the stock, they won't get anything in return. If they pay $10,000, they may not get $10,000 back, but they maybe get two or $3,000. So what I'm saying is, just like scam artists, let's say sometimes people are scammed, and now they want to scam others just to get something in return, so that they don't look, so they at least have some revenue of what they went through. Now, in the same way, worldlings often they want to get some type of benefit out of the waste they've been um, involved in. So they want to sell a story that twists the facts to make them look better than they really are, or they want the younger people to agree with their violence so that they at least have some support. So the reason I took so long to explain all of this because I want you to be aware of this. It's true. It's revenge, Suzanne. It's a type of revenge that they take out on other people just to get some ease. I want you to watch out for divestment of negativity. When people don't forfeit negativity because they don't want to uh, go through the withdrawal symptoms, they don't want to take the losses and then recover, then what they'll do is they will drag you into negativity just to get something out of it. Beware with divestment of negativity. It's a common thing. Many of those anti-narcissist channels on YouTube are divestment pages. A lot of those anti-narcissist channels on YouTube are run by narcissists themselves. Some are run by survivors of narcissistic abusers, but when you look at them, most of them are not focused on long-term solutions. They're all focused on how can you get back at a narcissist, or how can you take it out on other people by being more stern on others who didn't harm you. They call it having strong boundaries, all of that. No, no, no. The narcissist use boundaries on you at your expense. And now you want to do the same to other people, but you claim you do it for other self-protection. You're just divesting negativity. Instead of admitting that you fell for the narcissistic abuser because of the lack you operated instead of that, you still want to get something out of it. Synonyms for divestment. Um, okay, let me think of some good synonyms. You know what? Let me see what a dictionary uh, is saying about synonyms for divestment. Okay. Synonyms for divestment are denial, detriment, privation, hardship, destitution, dispossession, seizure, confiscation, divestiture, forfeiture, that means to forfeit, stripping. What the heck? Okay. But it comes down to this. Anytime people are divesting negativity, they are either telling you that you need some measures to survive, so they sell it as a type of self-defense, or they sell it as a magical formula that will make you forget all about the bad stuff and live life as if it never happened. When you leave a comment, please give the context of it. Without any context. I will not leave any comment here because I don't want people to be distracted. Thank you. So do not fall for negative divestment from worldlings. Even in church, it happens. Whenever people tell you some self-defense methods on a psychological level, whether it's they call it having principles, having ethics, morals, boundaries, whatever, which actually a form of using spells on other people, or when they come with this magical wand, saying just use the law of attraction or whatever just to get what you want, what they're doing is they're investing negativity. Instead of coming with this magical formula called the law of attraction, why don't just tell people how the world really is and how negative minded worldlings can be, and tell them that you actually need some spiritual power behind you to survive daily life and also to prosper. They won't do that. Why? Because if they tell you this, then they will have to admit that the only way out is by serving the Heavenly Father. So they don't want the negativity to disappear. They just want to get something out of it. They don't want the negativity to be all over the place, but they want to get something out of it. So if you've been exhausted by the 9 to 5 and you want a way out, they don't want a mass of people to leave the 9 to 5 because then the current economic exploitation will collapse. They want exploitation to continue, but they want to give you some relief so they can retain some of the quote unquote benefits. So giving you a false solution is a negative uh, divestment. So do not fall for it. Look, some people don't know any better. Some people don't know any better. So they don't because they lack knowledge. So those people they don't have to mean you evil or mean you harm, but they still operating in a dark mindset and they're not even aware how dysfunctional they are. So in that case, you just keep your safe distance in a peaceful way. You don't turn on these people because people don't know any better. Some people do know better, but they're just collaborators. They just don't want any solution at all. Now the collaborators you avoid, the collaborators of negativity, you avoid them altogether. People that don't know any better, you tolerate them at a distance. Simple as that. You forfeit negativity. It's when you forfeit it that you can recover and then turn the situation into something better. You can only turn the situation into something, you can only turn the bad situation into something good when you forfeit the negative investment. You cannot continue the negative investment in a different way and expect a better outcome. So divestment is actually a reinvestment in a different way. Thanks for the super chat donation, Suzanne. Thank you very much. Now, anyway, thanks for listening to this live stream. Again, I kind of went longer than I planned. I want to stay for a maximum of 30 minutes, but I'm in 40 minutes now. But anyway, if you have any questions, you can ask them now. I'll stay for 2 more minutes. Then I need to go. If any questions related to this topic, please ask them now. Thank you very much. Justin said, being the only positive in a negative environment is a stronghold, indeed. So if you find out that you're the only positive individual in a negative environment, make effort to leave the environment as soon as possible. Hey, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. That will help this live stream be shared in YouTube algorithm too. Thank you very much. So Suzanne, so avoid traps of reprobates. Indeed, reprobates always want you to fight them. Now, if you're addicted to anger, I'm glad you admit you have an anger addiction. You need to go into therapy and counseling to figure out why you're so angry. You need to process the bad things that happen to you and how you cope with them the wrong way. And you need to accept that you won't get back what you've lost. Behind anger, there's likely sadness or hurt or some other vulnerability you're afraid to admit. But all of this you can process in counseling and therapy. Please do so. I cheer you for admitting that you have an anger issue. Now take the further step in dissolving it altogether. Well, I didn't see any other questions. Thank you all for being here. Keep on growing in Christ, and I'll see you all next time. Be at peace.